act as if you have the abundance that you want, because from a vibrational perspective, we will attract what we are a match for. But what I misunderstood, and what I think a lot of people misunderstand, is act as if does not mean spend as if. And those are two different things.
Yeah.
There's an energetic beingness of being abundant where we can also say, you know what? I'm going to eat dinner at home 6 nights a week instead of eat out 6 nights a week, because I can create an abundant experience of stewarding the money I have and paying loving attention to it, not from a place of lack or deprivation, but from a place of these are my resources and I'm going to care for them, which is actually a really abundant thing to do. So what I did is totally the opposite. I paid no attention. I was a total financial avoider, fully in spiritual bypass around it, because there was a big secondary gain. And I find this for a lot of folks, the secondary gain, which is, when we're, for those who aren't familiar with that term, when we're engaging in a behavior that we know is technically not good for us, which for me, it was overspending and not being aware of my finances and just essentially being immature. Just really not other good way to say it. I was engaging that behavior. There was a part of me that knew it wasn't good for me. I had sort of tried to stop, but I wasn't able to change the habit. And I would like stop using my credit cards, and then I would go buy something again, or I would I was like in this push pull with it. So the secondary gain I got from that was I didn't have to be an adult. I didn't. And so the secondary gain is the thing that we get to avoid doing or not have to deal with by engaging in this other non-supportive behavior. So my financial avoidance allowed me to remain on some level a little girl around my money. And I finally realized, and one of my friends and mentors, Barbara Hewson, said that for women specifically, and it may be true for men too, I don't know, but she said our ambivalent relationship with money is connected to our ambivalent relationship with our power. And for me, I knew that my financial chaos and avoidance and that debt and not knowing how much it was really and moving it around from card to card so I could kind of do this shell game was a way I was playing small. Like I knew what was in me. I knew I had a big energy to bring to the world, and it scared me. And so my way of kind of like making sure that I wouldn't get too big or be too powerful or threaten anyone or freak anyone out, right, was to be in financial chaos. And it really was effective. It's an effective strategy.
Because you didn't have a chance to compound wealth at all.
You don't have a chance to compound wealth. And then also there's an energetic cost, which is that even if you don't actually, so the avoidance, we think that looking at the truth of our money is going to cost us something, like that knowing the truth is going to be painful. But actually, once I finally sat down and just looked at the numbers and got super clear, the truth in my situation was worse than I thought it was. Although I will say in my programs, for a lot of people, the truth is actually better than they thought. So I was worst case scenario. It was worse than I thought. However, I felt amazing knowing the avoidance was such a huge energy leak. I didn't realize that it was like having a static radio station going at all times, and how much of my focus, how much of my energetic resources that was taking up. Just like the kind of hazy, nebulous feeling of like there's a problem over here, but I'm not dealing with it. That'll suck you dry energetically. So once I started handling it and I knew the truth and I started making a plan to get my debt paid off, making a plan to increase my income, I got myself organized. I took off like a rocket ship because I had reclaimed that energy that I was letting be sucked out, because I was scared of being as powerful as I knew I could be.
How did you get your head around to it though? Because I would find, or at least from my experience of speaking with people, I find that being a big challenge for individuals who are in that energy, for whatever reason. It could be because of, avoidance, because you're trying to be not so big. It could be because you just had to grow up too early, and so you now want to be a little kid, whatever it might be the reason. But I find it really hard for them to like sit down and say, let's get my shit together.
Yeah.
How did you get there? Maybe it'll help.
Yeah, I needed help. I did. And so that's what I recommend is to find a safe person. It could be a friend who is going to love you unconditionally and not judge you. It could be, for me, I used money I didn't have to to hire somebody. It wasn't super expensive, but I did hire a financial planner for a few sessions to just be on the phone with me. It was back in the day when I had a landline. So she was on the phone with me with my cordless phone on speaker. I was on the floor with all my paperwork. And for me, I needed to invest just a little bit of money to hold my toes to the fire to get it together. Because I wasn't going to ghost this woman, I respected her. I paid money. Yeah. So I had to make an appointment with another person to hold myself accountable. And that's what I recommend is a safe person who you don't have to necessarily pay, but somebody to be with you. Because the other thing that we know is that it is so much easier to take action that is uncomfortable when we're able to co-regulate with a safe person. And so this safe person for me, her name was Janice. And Janice was not judging me. Janice was like a tough love person, but a loving person. And I have been this person with friends and in my programs to just hold that thermostat of like, you are safe. I believe in you. Money is not that hard. Really, if you can do fourth grade math, you can totally rock it being good at money. You really can. And
Which is
they
so
make
true
it
about
complicated complicated to keep people out of wealth, but it's really not that hard. And to really we all need that person because our bodies do not believe the lie of separation. So the lie of separation is you and I are totally separate and, there's no connection and we're just these little silos. The lie of separation is very connected to the lie of scarcity. They're like sisters. And the lie of scarcity says, of course, there's not enough to go around. Because of our mirror neurons and because of the brilliant way our nervous systems work, if you are looking at me and you are believing in me and you are a safe, loving person and you are holding the thermostat in your body of like, I believe in you, you're infinitely powerful, you can do this. There is something that happens in my body where that feels possible in a way it is not if I'm sitting in a room by myself or if I'm, not on the phone with you. I mean, I'm describing coaching, right? This is why this industry works, but it's not. I think what's really important to know, or what I've discovered, is that it certainly is belief. It happens on a mental level, but it actually is happening on a physiological level. Like our bodies have access to energetic resources and an availability to re-imprint our neural pathways, which run not only in our mind, but all through our bodies in a powerful way when we're in safe community. So that's where I really recommend starting, is finding safe community to do this work together, which is exactly what I did back in the day.
I can see that. And like you said, it's so powerful to have just somebody to trust you for a hot minute. So you can also trust yourself a little bit more. Like you get back into that, okay, no, I can do this. It's not, especially when somebody, and that's why I love coaching. I love your work as well, because you simplify it so much for a person that you go, oh yeah, this is fourth grade math. Because a lot of people I meet, they go, it's so hard. And I was like, it's not. If you did addition to subtraction, percentages, that's pretty much, it's not algebra. That's what people think it is.
It's not algebra. No, I even failed fractions. Like I can't really even do fractions. My second grader has now exceeded my math ability.
Yeah.
I can't help her with her math homework anymore, but I'm really good at money. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, but most people think it's so complicated because, like you said, like everybody makes the terms so complicated that everybody feels like, oh my God, it must be so hard. But it is not hard. It's actually easy.
Hard. And there are people who have benefited for hundreds and hundreds of years from other people thinking it's hard.
Yeah.
Right? And specifically for women, there has been a very purposeful campaign for thousands of years to keep women away from access to power, which includes away from access to financial to financial resources. I mean, that's been on purpose. And so I also recommend that people look at, if they say like, oh, I'm not good with money, or this is hard, or whatever, I always recommend people ask themselves, who benefits from me believing that?